We've all been here before, haven't we? You want to play something, you have so many options, but you have a really hard time deciding. You finally land on something, but then you have to install a lot of stuff, and then you don't really want to play it anymore. This is what's referred to as gaming burnout, or as I like to call it, video game burnout, and this is something I suffer from fairly frequently.
Playing video games is great. I love it, especially when you have a few weeks with not much going on. It's so nice to finally get some games you've been wanting to get to. But on the rare occurrence I get this opportunity, I find one stupid little thing getting in my way: burnout. There are many types of burnout, and of the various types, gaming burnout is one of the least serious. I mean, school burnout, work burnout, motivation burnout, emotional burnout. There are much worse types of burnout out there, but I don't think anyone would want to listen to me talk about emotional burnout for 10 minutes, so let's talk about video game burnout. According to LinkedIn, gaming burnout is a state of emotional and mental exhaustion that can affect your performance, mood, and motivation. It can also harm your physical and mental health as well as your relationships and work. It is not that serious. Video game burnout isn't some crippling deterrent, it's just an annoying thing that happens. My best example of getting burned out of gaming occurred in February 2023. The prior Christmas I received a PS4 and a stack of games and started working my way through that. I started with Jedi Fallen Order, jumped ship to Cyberpunk, then finished Fallen Order, started Red Dead 2, then started Spider-Man, beat Spider-Man, then GoldenEye 007 was added to Switch Online, so I beat that, and then I was down and out for a bit. It was just too much, man, and I took it easy on gaming for a few weeks. Now, after a few weeks, I was able to finish Cyberpunk, but Red Dead 2, I didn't even get around to continuing until August. This was probably my most severe case of video game burnout because it went past just, I don't know what to play. It was, I don't want to play.
For a case like that, it's easiest to just wait it out. Go busy yourself with something else. There is more to life than just gaming. It's weird, but trust me.
Another possible example was earlier this year in the same time frame. In the span of just 2 weeks, I played through Jedi Survivor, Spider-Man 2, and Mario RPG. Now, thinking back, I didn't really have a massive urge to play anything, but also looking back, I didn't have time. January was one of those months, and honestly, it was a good one to be that, because by the time I could finally sit down and spend some time with a game again, I was down to do so.
However, for me, there's more than just I've played too much that can cause this feeling. This may not be video game burnout, but it's the same camp of I don't know what to play.
Let's say a new release is coming out this week and I want to pick it up and play through it. Cool, I'm set for the next few weeks. But what am I playing this week? I have all these games I want to play, but I don't think I can finish any of them before this comes out. So what am I gonna play? And what about the opposite problem? A game comes out that I want to play, but I don't want to go buy it. Princess Peach Showtime. It looks fun, I heard it's fun, but now isn't really a good time. Plus, figuring out when I can go to GameStop is a whole other story.
When I start a game, I want to get invested in it and stick with it until the end, or else it's really hard for me to come back to it in the future. Zelda Twilight Princess.
This game. Oh my God, I can't take it anymore. Spring 2021, I made my way through a good chunk of this game before burning myself out. Great. This is not the kind of game you want to get burned out on, because if you forget what to do, you may as well just start over. I don't know, so many story beats I experienced 3 years ago, so if they come up again, I'm not gonna remember them. It's not as much as an impact. Since that initial burst of playing this years ago, it's been a tradition every few months to come back to it for half an hour. I start to retrace my steps, then go, f it, I'll wait for the Switch port. I've been saying that for the past 3 years. It just made sense for 2022, the first year since 2012 with no new Zelda release. During the big build up to Tears of the Kingdom, why not fart out Wind Waker and Twilight Princess HD on Switch? Now I have to find another way to waste my $60. So I could restart Twilight Princess, but I'm afraid the moment I make significant progress.
Alright, just minute back to City in the Sky. Son of a bitch!
The Zelda games are really hard not to get burned out on, especially Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, and Skyward Sword. These are lengthy adventures that are also pretty damn linear and can get pretty slow at times. They don't have much choice to go and do something else in the game like Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, so playing these from start to finish is a big investment. You should take it slow so you don't get burned out, but then it's gonna take you forever to beat it. It's an ongoing cycle, there's no winning. But sometimes a game being long can actually be a good thing. I recently started Persona 5, and it's really good. This was one that seemed doomed to linger in the backlog for a long time because I kept on telling myself I need to wait until I had 100 hours to spare. With that mentality, I wouldn't start it until retirement. Recently though, I thought of a different strategy. What if I played through it in chunks? The game is structured fairly well where you can play a 10-hour segment that is, in a way, a self-contained storyline. Of course, it's one long overarching storyline, but each dungeon, called palaces here, are at the center of their own independent storylines. Combine that with the daily slice of life structure, and as I said, this game is incredibly approachable, chipping away at it one section at a time. I played through the first 20 hours or so, finishing the second palace and its storyline, and I'm currently in the in-between section of the dungeons where the crew is figuring out what to do next, so it's not like I'm left on a cliffhanger. When I have another week with a fair amount of free time, I can dedicate it here and continue the story without getting burned out, which is a really nice feeling.
Some games are structured like that where you can approach it in a way where you can't get burned out, but this isn't a flawless thing. You still have to get invested in it for a couple days, and it can just be hard to do that. So what do I do when that's the case? Well, may I introduce the Burnout Prevention Force.
This is an elite force made up of 9 games that I can play when I'm suffering from burnout. Whether I'm exhausted by games or just don't want to get invested in any, one of these games should do the trick. Like Super Mario Maker 2, I adore platformers to bit, and this is like the ultimate platformer. It's like an endless supply of levels, and despite all these being made in the same level creator, they can feel so different and unique. Any 2D Mario can be quite the blast, but none can compare to the amount of variety here. Not just in the art styles, but in the level types, how hard they are, what mechanics they include, how well crafted they are. When I have the itch for a platformer but I don't want to get fully invested in one, this is an absolute go-to. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is also a huge one. Really any Mario Kart can work, but 8 Deluxe is my personal favorite. It has a whopping 98 tracks, an excellent battle mode, and its online is always kicking. Whether I want to race random courses or play some Renegade Roundup online, the amount of quality and quantity of the tracks in the game make this one an absolute mainstay. In a very similar vein, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Again, any Smash could work, but Ultimate is my go-to. A large variety of characters, maps, a solid enough selection of modes. World of Light is something I'm still chipping away at alongside Spirit Battles. Combine that with the fact that Nintendo is always adding spirits based on new games, and there's pretty much always something new to do here. I'd say I play online here often, but I suck at fighting games, so that's a no. But still, Ultimate is always on my mind. Do a few Spirit Battles or try to make some progress on World of Light. Get the motivation to finally get the DLC characters before realizing the price and backing down. It's like a tradition every time I play it. Animal Crossing New Horizons is also a good one. It's a great 30 minutes game. Just hop on for a half hour, see what's up, then pop out. And hey, who knows, as you're checking out everything, you may suddenly think of something to do and then spend a few hours doing so. There's still a lot I want to do with my island. If only there were good items available in the shops and more fun ways to get Nook Miles. Ugh. But hey, I can always continue laying a path across my island.
I am really bored here.
Well, you know what they say, you can't have the Lego Movie without a Clockwork Orange. Or, sorry, you can't have a Clockwork Orange without the Lego Movie. Grand Theft Auto 5. This is the peak of sandbox open world games. Just pop on some cheat codes and start rioting away. Grand Theft Auto 5 has always been one of my comfort games. Beyond screwing around and causing chaos, I still really like just relaxing and taking it slow. Following the traffic rules, pretending to be a normal functioning member of society. Until you get to Sandy Shores, no rules out here! Then as soon as you're done causing a ruckus, I love being in this jovial world. Here's an obscure one, Meteos. This is a puzzle game designed by Masahiro Sakurai, creator of Kirby and Smash. This is a DS game, and at face value, it seems to be your usual match 3 puzzle game. But when you make a match, the pieces actually lift off from the ground, and you need to keep making matches to continue to blast these pieces off into space. This is a game that could work on Switch, but it's just so damn enjoyable here. It has all the elements of a great puzzle game, along with the fact that just But look at this! Doesn't this look fucking awesome? Clubhouse Games and its follow-up Clubhouse Games 51 Worldwide Classics on Switch. You may wonder, what's the point of having both? Well, there's a few games that's only in the DS version and a bunch that are only in the Switch version, but having them together, you have the best of both worlds. These are both fantastic on their own. They're collections of classic board and card games along with a few other cool ones. 51 Worldwide Classics very much leans into some more Wii series style games with sports games and some Wii Play-esque games. Both are absolutely great. Many of these games are ancient, but it doesn't matter because they'll always be fun until the end of time. And the final game, Star Wars Battlefront 2. Either the EA version or the original can work, but I prefer the original. The maps are so good, the gameplay is a blast. There are so many modes and things to do, and the recent collection has online multiplayer. It's amazing.
These are the games in my Burnout Prevention Force. Why these games? 2 words. Variety, approachability.
Whether I just want to play something for 20 minutes or spend a few days with it, any of these games will do the trick. But the other important thing is variety. A platformer, racer, fighter, puzzle game, classic minigame collection, shooter, sandbox, life sim. This covers a wide variety of different genres that all play differently, so when I'm having a tough time figuring out what to play, any of these games will do.
I recommend making a Burnout Prevention Force of your own. It can have more than 9 games, as a matter of fact, the more games, the more options you'll have, which can be a bad thing though, so play it carefully. But spend some time thinking, what games can I play anytime without getting too invested in? What can supply me with 20 minutes or 3 hours of fun? What can, well, what can burn time until I wait for God of War to install? Talking about video game burnout apparently. Alright. Let's play.
Still want me to tie it to the boat?
I think I'll stick to Medios.